Noises Off is on my bucket list of plays. Noises Off is one of the plays that everyone wants to do before they die, me particularly. It is the greatest farce ever written. It is a brilliant comedy. It has various existential things to say about the way that chaos invades everybody's life. Mostly, it's just a really good night and a really good time. Noises Off is a farce inside a farce. So you have a traditional sex farce, whoops, no trousers, doors opening and shutting, objects flying everywhere kind of farce, but it's being put on by a group of people who are not making a very good job of it. So the backstage farce starts to overtake the onstage farce, and over the course of 3 disastrous tech matinee and final show, the whole thing collapses into one collective nervous breakdown. Farce is notoriously difficult, and all farces contain challenges about timing and about technique. That, for example, you have to say the line before the door shuts, or you have to say the line after the door shuts. One of them will be funny, one of them won't, and if you do both at the same time, the whole thing falls apart. So this has got to be very precise, very high speed, and the acting has also got to be real. So combining those 2 things is always a challenge with farce. With Noises Off, because it's like a kind of Rubik's Cube of farce, there is that third element that you've got to have the one farce working and then the other farce working on top, sometimes with it and sometimes against it. So that's going to be an enormous challenge to keep all of that going and not to drop any plates. Lots of different things happen on the first day of rehearsals. The first thing, the most important thing, is that the building and the company all meet each other. So you have half an hour of shaking hands, standing around, chatting, making conversation. It sounds like not much, but actually it's a big deal if you're meeting a lot of strange people and you know you're going to have to make a show together with these total strangers. Another thing that happens is the model box showing. This is where the actors discover what it is they're going to be acting on. Luckily with Noises Off, it's a classic shape. You know you've got to have a certain amount of doors, you know you've got to have a certain amount of staircases. So with this one, they will be approaching it, I hope, feeling more like they know what's coming and less like we're going to do it on a concrete slab or anything else that could faze an actor. The third thing and the last thing that happens, and this is the big test for everyone, is the read-through. This is everyone sitting down, reading their parts, I'll read in the stage directions, and we get a sense of the play as it is, as a whole. With Noises Off, obviously this is going to be unusual because there's a whole second act which is mostly silent. So approaching that is going to be a challenge, but what I hope that will do is act as a bit of an icebreaker for everyone. I think there's a very good reason why Noises Off continues to appeal, and it's actually not to do with the comedy. One of the things that happens in Noises Off, because the company, the characters are actors, they are working tirelessly, whatever they may feel backstage, to keep the show on the road and to keep it going. And many of the laughs come from the fact that they're in absolute chaos backstage, but they're still trying to keep up the appearances of normality, of success, of ease when they are out front doing their show. And for me, that feels like quite a profound statement about how all of us live. I think that everybody goes through patches where they feel as though they're paddling like mad underneath and trying to look like everything's under control up above. And I suspect that that is the reason why it's such a classic, because although it rings all the farce bells with consummate ease, it also says something universal to everyone who's watching.